And hello, and welcome into some more Steins Gate right here. Gonna head back into the game. Last time we got distracted a fair bit when we played this wonderful game. And we'll just head back into it. Which save is it? I think it's this one. We got distracted by the many gadgets of this thing. Yeah, the gel bananas that we put into the microwave, the phone controlled microwave, turned all gloopy droopy, soft and squishy. Wait, she already tried one? It had no flavor and wasn't tasty at all.
Dero dero de bunyu bunyu ka. Dario, dou omou?
Gloopy, droopy, soft and squishy. Daru, what do you think?
Bunyu bunyu banana ka. Bunyu bunyu no banana.
Soft and squishy bananas, huh? Soft and squishy banana.
Mayushi, あなたのバナナ、ブニュブニュだねって言ってみて。
Mayushi, say, your banana's all soft and squishy for me.
ダルくん、鼻血出てる。
Daru-kun, your nose is bleeding.
いいから言ってみてください。お願いします。
Please just say it.
あなたのバナナ、ブニュブ。
Your banana's all soft and...
言わせるな、手のガク
Don't make us say that, you perv. Daru retreats after I hit him with a tissue box. Mayuri looks at us with an innocent smile. She doesn't get it, obviously. Anyway.
ゲル状になったということは反固形。すなわち、分子同士の結びつきが弱くなっている可能性がある。
They're gelatinous, a semi-solid state of matter. In other words, there's a possibility that the intermolecular bonds were weakened. What could have partially liquefied the bananas?
そうか。わかったぞ。
I got it! I turn to the whiteboard and write freezing in the middle. Then I cross it out and slap the board with my hand.
俺たちは冷凍機能だと思い込んでいたが、実は違ったのだよ。
What we thought was a freezing function is actually something else. A bold statement, if I do say so myself. So why isn't anyone surprised?
さあ、お前たち。なんだってと叫ぶがいい。ここは叫ぶところだ。
Now's the time to shout, what do you say? Come on, don't be shy. Their reactions are pathetically weak. Mayuri probably didn't even understand half of what I said.
冷凍機能じゃないのは分かってるっつうの。
We already knew that. Oh.
問題は、じゃあこの機能って何ぞ？何が起きてんの？ってことじゃん。
The problem is, we don't know what it's doing. Or why it's doing it.
冷凍の逆なら、解凍じゃないのかな。
If it's the opposite of freezing, then couldn't it be thawing them?
実に愚鈍な意見だな、マユリ。それでは普通の電子レンジと同じではないか。
What a silly question, Mayuri. What you're describing is just a normal microwave.
じゃあ、どういうこと？
Then what is it?
それが分かんないから悩んでるんだお。
We don't know, and that's the problem. He's right. To be honest, I haven't a clue. In any case, there's nothing we can do about it now. It's time for Daru and I to head to Daibiro. There's going to be a seminar at ATF, and we have to be there. It's part of our studies at Tokyo Denki University. Summer credits, basically. We have to attend the seminar and write a report. Come to think of it, what's today's seminar about again? I looked it up before the summer holiday began. I should have written it down.
ご覧ください。秋葉原駅前のビルに謎の巨大物体が墜落しています。
Behind me is the large unidentified object that crashed into a building near Akihabara Station.
現在、警察による規制が敷かれ、ビルの前まで行くことはできませんが、遠くから見る限りでは、墜落した物体は人工衛星のように見えます。
The building is under police barricade. No one is allowed to approach, but from a distance, the object appears to be some kind of satellite. As we cross the overpass that connects UPX and Daibiro, I look down to see a huge crowd of people moving through the plaza. I did, by the way, find out that, first of all, UPX is a fictional place in the universe of Steins Gate. But also, I can hit shift to see places, which is cool. What's the button again? Was it R? No. E. There are even some... Oh, garishly dressed young men and women. The sort you don't usually see around Akiba. Everyone is walking towards the main street, which is still cordoned off. We also did get mail from Mayuri. You know, I'm really sad about dropping my Uber. It's worse than last year when I missed buying Fatty Gero Frogo. That's the one from last year, right? I thought you weren't interested. Let's see. There's something I wanted to look up, but I forgot. Ah. There we go. Right click twice. So, over here, there's like a help screen and everything, tips list. And over here, we can then look up Moe. A word used to describe a character to describe character traits that are cute or endearing. Includes flaws such as glasses, clumsiness, or ditziness. I don't know why glasses would be flaws, but I guess I'm Moe. Also used to refer to a culture of entertainment centered around characters who possess such traits, pronounced Moe. And the Moat Snake, future gadget number 4, an instant super humidifier, uses electric heating coils to quickly boil a large volume of water. This generates enough steam to fill a room of 12 square meters, though it can only be operated continuously for a few seconds. It looks like a Claymore landmine, which appeals to military otaku. Its name is a reference to the stealth action game Metal More Solid Rising. Microwave oven. It just explains a bunch of stuff. Symbols. Add channel. Fictional. Japan's most popular message board. Covers a wide variety of topics from hacking to cooking to anime to current events. And unread. Alpaca. A mammal related to a camel. Average weight 50 to 55 kilograms. Average length around 2 meters. Habitat Peru, Bolivia, Chile. Recently, alpacas can even be found in America and New Zealand. Unlike camels, alpacas do not have humps. Their bodies are covered with fluffy fur. Due to their strangely long necks and charming faces, they have some popularity as an ugly yet cute animal. Urashima effect. In special relativity, a phenomenon originating from the fact that time slows down as an object approaches the speed of light. For example, imagine that an astronaut travels to a nearby star and back at close to speed of light. This trip might take a few years from the astronaut's perspective, but he would return to Earth to find that thousands of years had passed in his absence. And that's pretty cool. Like, we can look up terms that we don't understand. Everyone is walking towards the main street, which is still cordoned off.
Daru,
aren't you going to check out Radican?
どうせ行っても見られないっしょ。もちろんネットに上がってくる情報にはほぼ目を通してるのだぜ。アットちゃんのスレ数100超えたし、勢いすげえ。
No point. Can't get close. I've been following the news online though. There's already 100 threads about it on @channel. It's huge, man. So that's why he was staring at his phone earlier. We enter Daiburu and take the elevator to the 5th floor, ATF Assembly Hall.
あー、涼しい。生き返るぜ。あばばばばばばばばばばばば。
Me, man, feel that I see him alive. Unlike the lab, Daiburo has air conditioning. Yet another reason for diligent participation in the seminar.
電話レンジカッコ仮の件だが、俺は答えを導き出したかもしれん。
About the phone wave, name subject to change, I might have found our answer.
そのカッコ借りってめんどいからいい加減やめるべき。
You know, that name subject to change thing is really annoying. I won't give in that easily. Even if no other lab member uses name subject to change, I will carry on until the day we decide its true name.
そんなことは今はどうでもいい。
Now's not the time.
お得意のとんでも
So
理
what's
論で
your
もひらめいちゃったん？
latest ridiculous theory?
何を言うか。俺はいつもこの世の神羅万象すら超越したあらゆる可能性について思考を巡らせているのだ。とんでもとか言うな。
What do you mean ridiculous? Magina's brain considers every possibility, even those a lesser mind would say break the laws of nature. Don't you dare call that ridiculous.
神羅万象を超越ってつまり何でもありってことじゃね？
So basically, you're just pulling stuff out of your ass. You can't call that science.
だるよ。電話レンジカッコ仮はシュタインズゲートを開く鍵だという気がするのだが、どう思う？
Daru, I have a hunch that the phone wave, name subject to change, may be the key to opening Steins Gate. How's that? Super hacker. A tremendously skilled hacker, or at least someone who claims to be one. The threat, my friend's a hacker, so he can easily find out who you are, often appears during arguments on the internet. People mockingly call the obviously non-existent hacker a hacker. There's nothing on Steins Gate.
そのシュタインなんとかってところからして意味不明なわけだが。
Steins what? You lost me back at ridiculous, man. A chime signals our arrival on the 5th floor. The elevator doors open slowly. As we step out of the elevator, I bump into someone. I quickly grab the person's shoulder to keep them from falling.
すいません。
I'm sorry. It's a girl. And I recognize her. You! Impossible. Chills run down my spine. I stare at her face in disbelief. I saw this girl just 3 hours ago. Makise Kurisu.
何か
Is there something wrong? Kurisu frowns and tries to back away. But I don't let go of her shoulder. My grip tightens. Ow.
貴様
You
貴様は死んだはずだ。
You should be dead. Why are you here? That's
しかも
rude. Yeah, even... There isn't a single blood stain on her clothes. And they're the same ones she was wearing when I found her. Only a serious wound could have produced that much blood. Yet as far as I can tell, she's completely uninjured.
無傷。
Not a scratch.
痛い。話して。
Hey, that hurts! Let me go! Kurisu pushes me away. Then she shoots me a wary glare. I realize that I'm gaping in disbelief.
何なの？
What's wrong with you?
無事だったのか。
You
怪
okay?
我は平気なのか。いや、そんなは
But
ず
it's
は。
impossible.
マキセ・クリスは何者かに刺されて血まみれで。
Someone stabbed you. I saw you lying in a pool of blood.
またその話かよ。
That again. Dara interrupts. Wait, there's something strange about what he just said.
またその話とはどういう意味だ。
What do you mean, again?
だって1週間前にも僕にそんなメール送ってきたじゃん。
I mean, you sent me that email like a week ago, right?
メール？俺が？
I sent you an email?
何よバカな。マキセ・クリスが殺されているのを見たのはほんの3時間前だぞ。
Don't be ridiculous. I just saw her dead 3 hours ago.
ちょっと勝手に殺さないでくれますか？私ピンピンしてますんで。
Hey, could you not talk about me like that? I'm perfectly fine.
そういえばあのメール変な感じだったな。送信日時が1週間後になってた。 つまり未来から来たっつうか。
It all falls into place now. You know, that message was kind of weird. It was dated a week after I got it, which means it came from a future.
未来から来た？
It came from a future?
ネットで妙な考察サイトでも見たのか、ダル。お前がとんでも理論を言い出すとは珍しい。
That sounds like something you'd read on the internet, Dara. It's rare for you to talk about ridiculous theories.
違うがな。確かにメールの日付は1週間後の28。あ、そっか。28日だから今日じゃん。
No, the date was definitely a week later. It came from 28th. Wait. That's today. Dara pulls out his phone and shows it to me. He's right. The email was sent from my phone. He received it on July 21st at 12:56. But it was sent on July 28th at 12:54. It was split into 3 emails. Someone stabbed, but Makise, Kurisu don't. Why did they send such a short message in 3 parts? And it looks like the 3rd email got cut off. I do recognize the content though.
これは3時間前に誰に送ったメールだ。
It's the email I sent you 3 hours ago. But I sent 1 email, not 3. There should be more text. Did Dara really get this a week ago?
興味深いわね。
Interesting. Suddenly, Kurisu is standing next to me, peering intently at the screen of Dara's phone. Alright, the email's not important. Well, maybe it is, but not right now. The real question is why she's still alive. Is she an illusion? No, an evil spirit? Am I haunted? I don't believe in such unscientific drivel. I'm a mad scientist. I timidly reach out to Kurisu's face. My fingertips stroke her hair. Feels silky, quite the cuticles.
ある。実
Substance.
体がある。
She has substance.
やはり幽霊だというのは考えすぎか。
Of course she's not a ghost. How silly of me. We're just sexually harassing her, aren't we?
オカリン、まずくね。
Okay, I don't think that's a good idea. I poke Kurisu's cheeks with my fingers. Such softness. Dead bodies don't feel like this. Not that I've ever touched one.
おい。
Oi. Wait a minute. We already touched when I bumped into her coming out of the elevator. I even grabbed her shoulders before being pushed away. I still doubted that she had substance. That's just proof of how confused I am. If she's alive, then what did I see back at Vatican? What was that scream I heard? Were they hallucinations? Just like that mass disappearance? That's right. She was stabbed. Maybe she's just hiding her wounds. This requires further investigation. Oh no. I grabbed the hem of her blouse and slowly lifted.
己は警察に突き出されたいのか？
Are you trying to get yourself arrested?
俺は真実を知りたいだけだ。
I just want to know the truth. I stare straight back at Kurisu as she trembles with anger and lift her blouse a little higher.
何が真実よ、この変態！バカなの？死ぬの？
What truth, you pervert? You stupid? Wanna die? She pushes my hand away.
ルイスちゃんの名台詞。来たこれ。
Louis Chun's famous line for the win. The main heroine of the anime, the familiar of Tenet, Tsundere. Her voice actress is the queen of Tsundere, Sugemiya Rie, nicknamed Sugyu. Daru shouts something silly, but I ignore him and press
俺は
Kurisu.
確かに見たのだ。
I know what I saw!
まさかあんた、
No, wait.
今、私の下着を。
Did you just see my underwear? Chris's face turns bright red. She firmly pulls her
この
blouse
手の
down.
目がそうではない。
No, you fool, not that. Early this afternoon, after Dr. Nakabachi's presentation, someone killed Makise Kurisu and left her in a pool of blood. I carefully explain everything that I saw.
ドクター中鉢。
Wait, Dr. Nakabachi?
オカリン何言ってるん？中鉢の発表会なら中止になったじゃん。
What are you talking about, Ocarina? Dr. Nakabachi's presentation was cancelled.
中止？
Cancelled?
そう。人工衛星の墜落で。
Yeah, because of a satellite crash. Something's wrong. Our stories aren't matching. It's the same thing that happened right after I saw the mass disappearance. Mary's story didn't match mine. I need to know. Am I caught in some sinister plot? Is this another organization conspiracy?
ねえ、ちょっとあなた。
Excuse me,
我が名は法院京馬だ。
My name is Owen Kyoma.
違うよ。全然違うよ。
Really, man? You're hopeless.
ほーいんさん、今の話詳しく教えてほしいんですが。
Okay, Hoen-san. I'd like to hear your story in more detail. Looks like she finally understands I'm not lying. But I still don't understand why my memories don't match everyone else's. I doubt that I can give her a good explanation. Just then an older man steps out of the assembly hall.
マキセさん、そろそろ時間ですし、始めましょう。
Makise-san, it's almost time.
はい。
Oh, right, thank you. Kurisu glances at me one more time, then sighs and heads towards the small conference room.
オカリン、とりあえず僕らも行こうぜ。
We should go too.
行くとはどういう意味だ？
Go where?
講義を聞きに来たんだろ？
To the lecture? Duh. Ah, that. Darrow follows after Kurisu. Did she come to attend the lecture too? Strange. Why would the girl genius, Makise Kurisu, need to attend a lecture like this? Okay, my guess was a bit off. The girl genius didn't come to attend the lecture.
今日は私のような若輩者の話を聞きに来てくださってありがとう。
I'd like to thank everyone for coming to hear me speak today.
講義をする方だったのか。
She's the one giving the lecture. Japan's famous girl genius, Makise Kurisu, who had a thesis published at the tender age of 17. According to Darrow, she turned 18 a few years ago. I first heard about her when Darrow pointed her out in a gossip magazine article. That's when he told me that she was going to be a guest at ATF. I'd forgotten all about it.
こういうのは初めてなので緊張してますが、ガチガチなのは多めに見てください。どうぞよろしく。
It's my first time giving a lecture like this, so please forgive me if I'm a little nervous. The audience is pretty mixed. It's mostly students like us, but there are also a couple of professors. And Kurisu just gave me a sharp look. What did I do? When I return her stare, she quickly averts her eyes. I don't care if she's a genius or whatever. I still don't like her. She may have these people fooled with a timid girl egg, but I learned at Radikan how cunning and aggressive she really is. Even if her murder was some kind of hallucination, my judgment of her character is still correct.
今回タイムマシンをテーマに話してほしいと言われまして、正直専門外なのですが、頑張って話してみようと思います。
For today's lecture, I've been asked to speak on the subject of time travel. It's not only my area of expertise, but I'll try my best. Time
タイム
travel?
マシンか。
Oh.
最初に結論を言ってしまうと、タイムマシンなんていうのはバカらしい代物だということです。
Let me start by saying that time travel is an absurd concept.
異議あり。
Objection! Huh? Every member of the audience, not just Kurisu, is startled by my interruption. Perhaps I'm being slightly rude here, but I'm not one to just sit and listen to some genius girl's scribble.
タイムマシンが作れないと決めつけるのは早計だ。
It's presumptuous for you to claim that time travel is absurd.
オカリン、無茶しやがって。
Okarin, you magnificent fool. Sitting at my side, Darrow throws me a small salute. ATF staff are approaching, probably to kick me out. Perhaps I got too carried away.
まあ、はい、いいですよ。ディスカッション形式の方が話も弾むでしょうし。
I feel bad for her. She's here to give a lecture, and now it's a discussion. And that's a waste of everyone's time. Like, genuinely. Small rant. Whenever a lecture turns into a discussion about something, it's typically just a few people interacting with each other. It's not a discussion of many students, because that, especially with bigger classrooms or lecture halls, is going to be pretty hard to arrange well. But typically it's just a few very opinionated people having an opinion that differs from the lecturers or professors' opinion on something. And a lot of the time, those opinionated people are pretty uneducated as well, or misguided in their information. And as such, they will fire back at something, and then it turns into a discussion. And then by the time that the lecturer tries to return to what they were trying to teach, the lecture is over. And as such, everything we would have done in that lecture has to be done at a later date, or possibly get rushed and summarized, or done at home. And that's terrible for everyone else who didn't want that discussion. Anyways, in philosophy, that's quite common. I study philosophy, and it's pretty uncommon that people do that. And it's really, really annoying, like genuinely annoying whenever it happens. There was a person a while ago, a lecturer in a class on feminism, and feminist philosophies and whatnot. And the classroom was all women. And then it was me, cis white guy. And we were talking about intersectionality, and that lecturer really wanted to hear my opinion so many times, because I'm the only dude in the room, and apparently it's important to also hear my opinion. I'm like, okay, sure, but I want to sleep. No, I don't want to sleep. I'm kidding. But I really, like, I didn't feel like I wanted to take away space from other people who could express their opinions, because it's important that others do. And I did voice that. And then I continued, however, that if you truly want my opinion, I personally believe this and this and everything. And that there is definitely, like, the topic was about marginalization and intersectionality. And I basically said that when it comes to intersectionality, there's this very, very interesting concept of, the Venn diagrams between them, and how specific groups of people suffer more because of intersectionality than others. Like men, for instance, don't get attacked as much as women, because sexism is sort of a common ground of all forms of bigotry. This is based on studies, but also is a part of a reason why a lot of transphobes and a lot of homophobes and racists and other people get along so well, is because there's women across them all, and a lot of the perpetrators of bigotry at specific rallies often are male. And as such, they have common ground in that they hate women. Because there's gay women, there's black women, there's trans women and men, and just women in general, I guess. There's Jewish women, there's Muslim women. People find common ground, and obviously the same applies to men as well, but people don't think that way. Just like how a lot of transphobes will constantly think about trans women as a concept, but not about trans men as a concept, which creates some issues in their own argumentation. That's why also they have to ignore those people, like trans men, women that have transitioned already and now look like men and had surgery as well and everything, and have now to go into female spaces according to their own logic, which would make women uncomfortable and stuff. So basically, I was talking a little bit about that concept and how there's a lot of research on that, and how I can recommend checking out Dr. Cowett, Kowert, who also has a psychology-themed YouTube channel called Psychgeist. Very cool person. She also talks about these topics quite frequently as well. And there was something I said that rubbed someone the wrong way. Like I mentioned how, for instance, nobody cares about women when they bring up women in these sort of debates. Like they don't, when migration comes up, they bring up women as a tool. They don't actually care about women. Or when it comes to like trans people and debates and whatnot, they bring up women but don't actually care about women because they forget that trans men exist as well. In their eyes, biological females, right? So, and I'm using females here because using biological as a term, Anyways, and it rubbed someone the wrong way, what I said, and they were very upset about me as a dude speaking up about it. And like taking away. And I said, well, that's just what I said. I don't want to take away, but if a lecturer wants to hear my opinion as the only guy in the room, it would make sense for me to also share what I know of. And I don't think that I'm taking away anything right now by saying this one little thing and leaving it at that. Anyways, and they did like the whole, white cis dude and everything, probably straight or something like that. And I said, well, I'm queer. Also, I have a migration background, and I am Muslim, so I do have marginalization as well. And what you're doing right now is categorizing me on what I am not, or what I also, where I have privilege, which is fair, but I don't think that has anything to do with my point. There is definitely something called marginalized privilege, which is when, for instance, Rowling will, I don't want to get into politics here, but Rowling, for instance, will, this is all context for my point. I basically mentioned how Rowling, for instance, will frequently mention how she's a woman when she tries to deflect from her transphobia, even though she's a white woman and a rich woman. She'll take that marginalized aspect of her person and take it as a defense against all criticism. And that is called marginalized privilege. If I were to say, oh, but I'm also queer, also have a migration background, everything, and you're just being racist or something like that, that'd be silly. But in the same way, it's also silly for you to like now attack what I said based on my skin color. Because I also have like an Arabic skin tone, which is super pale with dark hair, and that's pretty migrant adjacent, I guess. I'm not sure how, there's white people in other countries as well that are less privileged. So, I don't think that's a good thing to do. And so that turned into a little bit of a discussion. But by the end of it, we had like one very opinionated person who just parroted the same talking points about white, cis, male, etc., which there is substance to that, and it is important to acknowledge privilege and everything. And I do have that privilege, sure, but it's past the point, especially when I am talking about stuff that affects others, and I'm not being contrarian or anything. They were just being contrarian towards me because I was the one who was saying it. Even when others said it, they weren't against it, if that makes sense. And so there was that, and other people chimed in and said a lot of things that were very uneducated, as in, like, or misguided rather, not uneducated. They clearly did read up on something but didn't understand it, and so applied it the wrong way, which is harmful for the movement. And I said, well, if you want to attack me like this, that's fine, you can do that, but as a consequence, I might no longer be an ally to whatever cause you're portraying. And that's the way human interactions work. You can, of course, point out privilege in this way that is very combative and honestly ill-willed, with a lot of bad faith and all of that. And you can try to silence me and all of that. But the only thing that will do is possibly antagonize me. And not just towards you, but also towards anything that you stand for. Even though we both are on the same side, you could turn me into a possible opponent of yours, and that's not something you want to do. Rather, I find it important to acknowledge certain privilege and everything, and then talk about that, but still, under that lens, talk about the struggles of other people, which is what I do. And the lecturer agreed on that, and then we talked a bit about that topic. But suddenly it was no longer about intersectionality, which was the topic of that lesson, but actually about the way we discuss things and the way we can possibly deter people from our causes and hence harm our own causes in the way that we argue. So suddenly we learn something that is not going to be on the exam instead of learning something about the stuff that is going to be on the exam. And that's bad. And as such, it will be easy to talk in a discussion format is wrong. Mostly for the fact that it will most likely not go well. Oh, that was a long one. Sorry about that. We're gonna call it here, however, and then continue with the discussion next time. Sorry about the long tangent, but I just have a great time talking about this stuff. If you like this episode, feel free to hang out for the next one where we're gonna actually dive deeper into the fun stuff. But that's it. But yeah, next time is gonna be pretty cool. Looking forward to it. I'll see you around. Bye bye.